I'm Anthony Forrest, the president of Steel Cod, and I'm here with John Beresford, our VP of Sales, ready to discuss all things appliances. All right, John, when you're selling outdoor kitchens, and specifically grills or really any outdoor appliance, you need to talk about how long this stainless is going to last and how well it's going to work and what you need to do to maintain it. Because it's very easy to get it out there, and once it shows up, it's this beautiful, shiny object, but we know that's not going to be a beautiful, shiny object forever. So what's the solution? You sell the marine grade stainless steel. Job done. Don't even have to think about it again, right? This is going to last forever?
Sure. That's what people used to think. So look, marine grade stainless steel is completely misunderstood, okay? Because people think exactly like you're thinking, right? Corrosion is kind of like a yes or a no problem, and either it rusts or it doesn't, right? And that's just not how stainless works, okay? The value of marine grade stainless steel isn't that corrosion is never going to happen with it. It's that the type of corrosion that it experiences is completely different, and it also makes it manageable. So if we talk about what actually separates marine grade stainless steel from standard outdoor stainless, and most outdoor, let's put some numbers behind this. So if most outdoor rated grills are usually 304 stainless steel, which is great. It performs really well in dry environments and just these kind of moderate conditions that are out there. Marine grade is typically 316 stainless, okay? And the difference there is really just kind of in the chemistry and how they're built, right? 316 creates higher levels of nickel and molybdenum, okay? Those elements don't prevent corrosion, okay? They slow, just stay with me here. Yep. They slow chloride attack, okay? Which is what salt air and that coastal moisture really kind of introduced to the equation, okay? That distinction really matters because what we know about salt is that salt doesn't sit on the surface of anything, right? It breaks down the chromium oxide layer that protects the stainless steel in the first place. And once that layer is compromised, that's where that corrosion starts setting in.
So we're getting a little technical here, which is great. And I think it's important that salespeople do understand what's happening behind the curtain, just in case the customer needs to know, they can properly explain it. But now, since the customer's eyes have rolled into the back of their head, give it to me in terms that you would present to the customer that doesn't need to hear about the molecular structure, but does need to hear that there's something they need to do.
Yeah, so I would say that from a, I guess from a divergence standpoint, when 304 stainless corrodes in these high salt environments, it's often developing pitting corrosion, right? We've heard that word before, right? I mean, those pits really penetrate the surface of the metal. And then once that surface occurs, the surface is permanently altered. That's it, right? The corrosion continues below the finish at that point, and then cleaning it really becomes more of a cosmetic thing than it is a corrective thing, okay? So you can remove surface staining still, but you can't undo that damage long term. And that's why some outdoor grills age poorly, even when owners say, well, I bought outdoor rated stainless steel or I take care of them all the time. It's irrelevant, okay? Marine grade stainless behaves differently when that corrosion appears. This is where the value sets in, right? With 316, corrosion is more likely to remain surface level oxidation instead of that deep pitting that we don't want. And that matters because that means if it's surface level oxidation, it can be cleaned or neutralized. And then something that I learned pretty recently is passivated, okay? And passivation restores the protective oxide layer on the top. I didn't even know this could happen, which means showing future corrosion. It slows down the future corrosion and it stabilizes the surface, which is great because that's what makes this recoverable. Okay, that's how we get there. It's not that the corrosion doesn't occur. It means that the material now allows you to intervene before that permanent damage sets in. That's the real value there.
All right, so this is all great information. I'm with the customer now. I'm in front of these appliances, and I'm slowly losing this sale as I'm describing what's going on here. So help me understand what actions need to be taken in order to maintain or potentially correct marine grade stainless?
Yep. So marine grade stainless, the important things to note are it still needs care, just like a regular grill will, nothing more, nothing less. It still needs regular cleaning, and it's still going to react to the environment, right? Because when salt air does what salt air always does, the nice part is that you're not locked into living with irreversible damage that will 100% be caused by anything other than when you have 316. That's fundamentally a different ownership experience for anybody, especially when they're in the coastal and high humidity locations. So that's why you bring that up. You just want to make sure marine grade stainless still needs care, still needs cleaning, still reacts to the environment, but you're able to get a restorable version again. That's the main takeaways of all of this.
Which is a great takeaway, makes a ton of sense. And to me, feels like, especially in those specific environments, is a must. It's almost like a pump on an ice maker. Like, this sounds like a must upgrade.
Yeah, great example there, right? Because it's not rust proof. It acknowledges that corrosion is inevitable in all of these harsh environments, like we all know anyway. Now you want to just be able to there's an option to choose a material that fails, more slowly and more predictably, and then is recoverable. I mean, that's the story there. If you get those things right, you should be in business, especially with anybody that lives in those climates.
We drop a new episode every day of the week, including weekends. Don't forget to rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.